discuss on startups and investors. Okay, why do startups needs funding? That is first topic. If an individual technology cannot be licensed, piecemeals, a startup is sometimes the only alternative. Then second is the startup is a way to translate academic innovations into commercials, goods and services that benefit the publics. And third one is also serve as an engines for local economic development and job creations. Means the first topic, which is startups sometimes hold the alternative to identify the new opportunities into the markets, and second is a startup is a way of translating academic innovations into the commercial goods. Means startup is a identify and to grow the new economic developments or to uh, identify the new opportunities in industrial or manufacturing sectors, which is includes manufacturing of goods and or sometimes it includes under the service sectors. Next one, last point is also serve as an engine for local economic development for job creation. Means startup has to create job opportunities and development of economies. Essential of rising capital in startups. There is first topic is which are the essential for rising capitals. First point is take twice as long as projected periods. Means the startup which has to be manipulate or acquisition of funds which has to be take period as long as possible, which is double as a projected periods. Second is investor identify the may not work out. Investors which are not yet properly identified, okay, then it not yet working out. Third point is second round may be request buyouts. Second rounds may be request buy out, and last point is significant cost to rising capitals. There is a significant cost which is arises for a rising capital, which includes differentiate cost like as a IPOs, banking, and other expenditure, which is called as a significant cost for rising of capitals. Next slide. How can you impress investor to investing the money in your startups? Defensible competitive advantages, which includes patented technologies. Which of the newly coming or which of the technology you have to be adopted, you have to be using for the particular startup industry. Then second one is cycle time. Means how much cycles has to be completed within a particular time frames within a particular period. It called as a cycle times or a cycle time in some another words, which is called as a whenever your invested money it's coming back, it called as a cycle time. Third point is your potential in marketing, advertising and sales force. How to marketing of your products, how much effective of your advertising and sales force for the particular purposes. Third point is low cost manufacturing. Means the total of the your startup cost or whatever product you have to be manufactured, you have to be manage your cost as a as lower as possible. Okay, are the some defensible competitive advantages where you have to be attract towards potential investors. Next one is customers. Customer is another part where they have to be impressed as a investing in your industry or in your startups. Next one is how much of experience you have to be capable or you have to be build up. How much last or how much years you have to be growing up such a business sectors. It called as it comes under the experience. And last point is growing of the markets. How much market has to be growing, which is coming under the PLC analysis, where your products and which is your particular stage. In PLC, there is absolutely the four stages, which includes introduction, growth, maturity, and declines. When you your product, it become introduction or it becoming growth stages. Numbers of the customers or numbers of the investors, those are attracting towards the investing your industry. Okay, understanding the funding stages. There is a three major stages which are under the fundings. First stage is seed capital and startup. Means when your new business or when your new startup, it formulates or it become coming into the market, it called as a seed capitals or a startup capital. जेव्हा कधी नवीन उद्योग व्यवसाय चालू होणार असेल त्या टायमाला जे कॅपिटल लागणार आहे त्या कॅपिटलला म्हणणार आहे सीड कॅपिटल आणि स्टार्टअप कॅपिटल्स. त्याच्यामध्ये पहिला पॉइंट आहे पर्सनल रिसोर्सेस, सेकंड आहे एंजल फंडिंग्स अँड स्मॉल बिझनेस कंपनीज, which are discussed in next slides. Personal funds, which include first is savings. Saving means putting aside of money from for your later uses. You the certain of the amounts which is take aside for your day-to-day activities, which is called as a savings. Next one is earnings. Earning means earning from existing sources like as a salary, business, profession, capital gains, etc. are the certain examples of earnings. Okay, you have to be earning the money and investing into the certain such as sectors. All of the best and cheapest source of funds. Next one is angel investors. And angel investors, also known as the private investors, seeds investor or angel funders, is a higher net worth an individual who provide financial backing for small startups, which are providing the financial backing means those of the new startups, those of the new industries which are formulates, which are coming into the markets. Angel is the investors where to identify the potential of the certain startups and investing the monies. Next one is small business investment companies is called as SBIC. A small business investment companies is a types of privately owned investment company that is licensed by the Small Business Administrator from Government of India. Small business investment companies supply the small companies with both equity and debt finance. म्हणजे काय करणार आहेत हे जे स्मॉल बिझनेस इन्व्हेस्टमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन असेल हे त्यांना इक्विटी फायनान्स म्हणजे काय करणार त्याच्यामधलं जे इक्विटी स्वरूपात फायनान्स पण प्रोव्हाइड करतील आणि डेप्ट फायनान्स म्हणजे काय जे बॉरोड स्वरूपात असेल किंवा त्याला म्हणणारे लोन स्वरूपात जे दिलं जाईल त्याला म्हणणारे डेप्ट फायनान्सिंग. ओके, सेकंड स्टेज मध्ये सांगितलंय एक्सपान्शन financing, which includes first is public equity. Public equity funds are source of financing generated from selling of companies to the public. Means those of the corporate to sector industries which are coming under the public equity. When this is done, it is called as an initial public offering. Means when your new company, new organization is formed and they have to offer their shares or sources of finance from the outsiders, it called as a initial public offer. Second one is venture capitals. Venture capital is a form of private equity and a types of financing that investor provides to startup companies and small businesses that uh, deliver to have long-term growth potential. Means those of the industries which having the long term growth potential or long term successful. Okay, it comes under the venture capitals, and venture capital is a firms to providing certain amounts of funds towards the particular startup. Next one is strategic alliances. A strategic alliances, also see strategic partnership, is an agreement between two or more parties to pursue set of agreed upon objectives needed while remaining independent organization. Means there is a two or more parties though having the agreed to grant a certain amounts for a न्यू स्टार्टअप. म्हणजे अशा काही उद्योग संस्था आहेत की ज्या काही नवीन स्टार्टअपसाठी त्यांचं पोटेन्शियल फाइंड आउट करून काय करतील, त्यांना कर्ज स्वरूपात असेल किंवा त्यांच्यामध्ये पैसे गुंतवतील. ओके, नेक्स्ट सोर्स इज डेप्ट फायनान्सिंग. डेप्ट फायनान्सिंग which includes commercial banks, means those of the banking which are already established or we having the potentials to grant a certain amounts, or those of the providing the loans and other forms of funds for a new startup which are called as a commercial banks. Next one is commercial financial companies. The means the commercial financial companies providing finance for a commercial purposes, which also included as a CFCs and other forms. It includes ICICI, IDBI, NABARD, etc. are the commercial financial corporations. Next one is small business administrators, which is also discussed with small business corporations. Means small business administrators having the potentials to providing the certain amounts of investment to new startup. Next one is state funded venture capitals. Means the certain of the state organization having the providing the particular amounts of financial assistance to new startup are called as a state funded capitals organization or state funded ventures. Next one is incubators or incubation centers. In a government of India having the certain funds to providing the new incubation centers in a different set locations, different set of their institutions. And last point is customer and suppliers, which is absolutely the one source of capitals. Means you have to be taken the certain amounts, certain funds from the in the forms of advances, and it utilizing for a new startup. And suppliers means those of the person having the providing raw material and other forms of materials toward the industry are are having the potentials towards the new startup industries. Rising capital from private investors, which includes securities, common and preferred stock, means you have to be offered your financial needs from share markets. Okay, it is coming under the common or preferred stock. Notes, bonds, and debentures are other source of funds. Okay, they having the certain period of their maturity period and repayable periods. Limited partnership shares, etc. are the example of private investors. What are the advantages of private investors? There is first is less costly, less time consuming than initial public offering. Means when you have to offer the private placements or privately, then the all over the expenditures which is incurred in a private placements which are become a lower than initial public offering. म्हणजे प्रायव्हेट प्लेसमेंटमध्ये जो खर्च होणारे आहे तो खर्च इनिशियल पब्लिक ऑफरिंग मध्ये जो होणार आहे त्याच्यापेक्षा कमी असेल. Availability of standardized offering statements means there is a standardized offered statements which is offered from the potential of the startup industries toward the new customers or new investors. And last point is don't have to file with Securities and Exchange Commission, which is coming under the Security and Exchange Board of India. Thank you.